Hi, this is Christopher Lewis, and welcome to Dating Intelligence, the podcast where we give relationship advice from dating to marriage and everything else in between. And always with the goal of helping you to continuously be the best you at all times.
So if you're looking for real, honest information to help you navigate your relationships, we've got you covered.
We've got you covered. What's up, Snow Bunny? How are you doing today?
Good.
I'm loving your hat.
Thanks.
This one, it's like,
you know what? I was in Savannah, Georgia, freezing my tits off. It was so freaking cold. I was not ready for it. I was so excited to come back home to warmer weather. And
Did you bring warm enough clothes?
No, but
Okay.
they said it was going to be warm, but
Yeah.
their warm is different than our warm.
That's true.
So I couldn't wait to get back to Vegas, and I come back, and it's freaking freezing. Cold, windy, and rainy. I was not happy.
You brought the bad weather and the storm. It's no
not
different than Los
happy.
Angeles. Same thing. It's already raining yesterday, today, and I'm sure it's just hitting all of California right now.
Not ready
so.
for winter.
I'm not ready for it. I figured it'd be at least 70 degrees here today, but when I got off the plane, they were like, oh, it's going to be a high of 50 something. It's like, wait, I might as well go back to LA for that shit.
Yeah, I feel like you guys are always like a little bit warmer than us.
I didn't know that. I always thought that this would be, because it's always hot here all the time.
It's like,
so
there was only one other place here that I feel like is a little warmer than us, and it's Arizona.
yeah, good one. Florida?
Yeah.
What about Florida though?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
Florida.
Where
Every
you-
time I'm there, like in December, it's so warm and
Yeah.
humid, and I love it.
Right, that's where all the
My
vacation
hair
people
doesn't
go.
like it, but do you want to touch my ball?
I
know
do.
you
I do. Like, I'm going to just go, beep, beep, beep. It's one little bell on that thing and stuff. All right, guys, we're at Sticky Paw Studio today. Welcome to another episode. We have an amazing guest. We're just going to drop in here because I want a lot to talk about this one. So, our guest today was recently featured on the Amazon hit show Cosmic Love, where she played the part in order to find her perfect astrological match. This actor, fitness model entrepreneur, has taken the scene by storm with her amazing good looks and even bigger heart. With her fitness brand and blog, Flexing Phoebes, her mission is to help women all over the world become their best selves by teaching them how to flex their minds, their body, and their soul. And the best way to show that is to lead by example, in which this stunning beauty has done lately by creating waves wherever she goes. Please welcome Phoebe Davis to the show.
Hello.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm good.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Do you ever notice like the hottest girls literally come in like sweatshirts and
And
hair
they still
back in a
just look
pony?
hot?
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
No, literally, I was looking at the Instagram of the podcast last night. I was like, what am I going to wear? And literally, I was like, do I dress up? And I was almost wore a beanie because I saw that you wore beanies. I was like, I can be chill. It'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Totally
So-
chill. This is home
Plus, I
for
hopped on a
us.
plane early this morning, so I was like,
Yeah,
I'm just
right.
gonna be
So I got out
cozy.
of bed too early to come this way.
And
so.
she had a blanket. I always travel
I
with a
literally
blanket.
still have it.
It's under the table. I love it.
Oh
Like
my
the same
God.
way you are with being cold, I'm always freezing, and I also am from Arizona, so I'm like,
So I think we're just wired different.
Well, your body doesn't
for
acclimate when it's
sure.
not used to
Yeah.
cold temperatures. Then when it
No.
hits, it's like, holy shit, it's cold.
I hate it.
Yeah.
And then on planes, I travel with hand warmers.
Oh, you do?
And I have a few. I have like tuck one in the front of my pants. I have one like on my arm. And then I forget one's like tucked in my pants and I'll be walking. and
it, like,
my
drops
friend's
out.
like, is that a pad sticking out of your thing? I'm like, no, it's my hand warmer.
You're like,
what the
oh,
hell?
nice. I like
So,
that. Yeah.
But yeah, like hand warmers, they come in clutch for sure.
I need
on
to
the
start
long-
carrying those around all the
yeah,
time.
that's
when I think
actually
about
really
that.
smart for traveling. Because for me, it's always that weird period between like your shin and your shoe.
Yeah.
You know,
Why
where
do
it's
our
like if I'm wearing
feet
like
freeze?
leggings, yeah, and then my whole like calf is frozen, and then my toes are
So
frozen.
weird.
Ugh.
I wonder if it's because we're flying over like the cold areas, so it's like the feet
Well, I
are
feel like
always
it's just
freezing.
it's just cold in planes anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially with like the air conditioners always like,
Yeah.
like blasting
or
on
the
you. for leaves.
person like on the other side, I want to be like, can you move your freaking air because it's hitting me right in the face.
Uh huh.
Right. Well, that, yeah.
It's our world, and you're living in it.
Yeah, okay.
It's like the
Hair,
person who ever
asshole.
controls the window seat. You know, if they get the shade and everything. It's
And
like
I'm
when the
trying
sun's
to
like full-
sleep, and
yeah.
then it's like I want to be like, excuse me, can you lower your shade?
Oh my
the
God.
sun is in my eye.
Well, I enjoyed my plane ride today. It was completely empty. I think there's probably like 20 of us on the plane today, which
Oh,
I almost
that's
missed
nice.
again, by the way, because I
were at
sat
the
in the
wrong
wrong
gate.
area. Once again, I'm like, get there early. I'm sitting at the terminal, and all of a sudden it's like, we hear Christopher Lewis. Like, I felt like paging Mr. Herman, like that Pee Wee Herman movie. I was like, all of a sudden I go, what? And I go, shit. So I run to the front and I go, excuse me. I go, you guys called me. She goes, we didn't call your name. She goes, you're fine. I go, she goes, what, are you going to Fort Lauderdale? I go, no, I'm going to Vegas. She goes, oh, you're at the wrong terminal. You need to go over here. And I was like, so I'm sprinting down, like, just like throwing people out of the way, pushing them away. And I get to this guy just in there, just smiling at me. And I go, you fucking should have let me know this early. And when you guys, I hate when you do this. He goes, sorry, sir. And I click and I run in there. And I'm like, sitting in my chair going, thinking like I'm going to miss another flight again.
Yeah.
Which I've done
But
that.
you're the only one on the plane.
Well, right. Exactly. Me and
It's
50
you
other
are
people.
only
Sometimes
passenger.
they leave early. Southwest will leave early if it's like there's not a lot of people on the flight.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, how do you just decide to like take off early?
They just
But they do. They're like, oh, we're going to be pushing back a few minutes early.
So they won't be
Pushing
late for the-
forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is 15 minutes.
And then when you land, though, now you're sitting on the tarmac. Oh, we're got to sit on the tarmac for 20 minutes because we're early.
yeah, we don't
Right.
You know,
wait.
what's that about?
So.
Anyways, hi, Phoebe. How are you? How you doing?
hell?
So I have to say,
Poor
you are
Phoebe.
like my new favorite, by the way. I met this girl after we talked on Instagram or like that. And I'm like, can you do our show? She's like, I'd love to do the show. I'm like, sold, yeah. And then we went to this event for Halloween. I was like, are you going to this event? She goes, well, I'm supposed to go to this event for Barry Bly
Bly.
Yeah.
stuff, right? Which
love
was
him.
pretty amazing, the Halloween event. So she goes, no, I'm going to that. So I ended up calling that day and say, hey, look, my girlfriend's not going. What are you guys up to? She goes, come on over and meet my friend Mallory. So I went, well, never met this girl my entire life. Went to her friend's house. And we had
like,
the
come to our
best-
house.
Yeah, I know. I go, thanks, guys. I go, I promise I'm like the best guy ever. And like, yeah, we trust you, Chris. Da, da, da. So I get over there and like, we had the best time.
Yeah.
Is
Like,
that
we
where
were-
you dressed up as the Riddler?
I did, and Travis I actually have us on the carpet. So there's me with Monique, one of our past guests. She dressed up as, well, who is that?
Harley Quinn.
Yeah, thank you very much, Harley Quinn. I was the Riddler.
Oh, you want a video?
And there's
Yeah,
our
video. Thanks, Dave.
red carpet walk. Yeah.
Be
So
theatrical,
there's
please.
Mallory.
Would you like
Phoebe.
to say anything?
Happy
Yeah.
Halloween!
Okay, so
How
I
about the
didn't know
Gettysburg
that
Address,
you
anything
guys
like that?
knew each other then before this.
Cheers
When
to
I saw
2023.
this parade, you
Yeah.
don't know her. Get out of her thing.
Looks good.
Travis,
I mean,
thank
Like
you.
you
I
guys
can't.
went together.
Yeah, so we
'Cause when I was
literally
seeing
met
it,
like
'cause
we
he
met like
makes
an hour
friends with
before that.
everyone.
Right, we met
But,
an
like,
hour before that. Like I literally went to Mallory's
crazy.
house
Yeah,
and like
we
and
shared
I
an
brought,
Uber there.
I brought tequila over and we did some shots and we did an Uber and then we were just all night, just boom, we were in it. So yeah,
Nice.
and then
it
I was
a-
like,
I heard it was a good event.
it was a good event. Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
it
at
was
one
fun.
moment you were like, I want to go. And I go, I'm ready to leave too. And I end up going, she goes, I'm going to stay for a while longer, which I'm like, okay, great. I'm out of here. So, but I stayed till probably midnight. I stayed for a good while.
Okay.
I know it's a little bit longer than we discussed all the
What
time.
time did you show up?
Well, we got there outside about 10, 9:30, 10.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like 9:45ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good enough time, but there was a little bit of a line for the carpet, but we got through and then we were inside and like I said, it was jamming on the inside.
Yeah.
So
I feel like his events are always like.
I had a lot of
pretty
fun, actually. And it's Halloween. I mean, it's one thing about Halloween that I love. I don't know if you probably say the same thing or not, but everybody, because you're dressed up, everybody's happy to talk.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can talk to anybody at any given time because they're dressed up or whatever it is. And people just shine on that night. There's no introverts at all in this situation. So if you're dressed up and you're out, you better be prepared to be talking to people.
Oh, for sure. It's like the ultimate, like everyone's wearing an icebreaker. So you can
Right.
like come up and talk to anybody.
Exactly.
Were there a lot
Yeah.
of guys at this party?
I mean, yeah.
Right.
That was part of the reason why I came up to you at one point and was like, I want to go because there's this one dude who would not leave me alone. And I was just like,
No.
She was like,
I don't wanna be here
thank you for
anymore."
being such a good wingman and help. I go, that's what I do. You know, it's just like, I just
Yeah.
want to hang
Yeah,
around the
he got
hotties
him.
and that's what I do. I just
Yeah,
want to
he-
just be there for when you need me.
yeah, thank
So,
you.
You're very welcome.
Many
Oh,
thanks.
Thank you very
Many
much.
thanks.
Yeah. I do it for you too, honey.
Yeah.
Anytime of
you did.
day.
You did at the Forbes party.
Oh, that's right. When I was upstairs 3
Creeper.
levels up, she goes, text me, goes, I need help. And so I'm like, talking to this girl. I go, excuse me, gotta go. Go down and like look for her and just like jump in front of her. I go, hey, you need something? Oh, hi. And I go, we gotta go. So she goes, sorry,
Time to
spitter. Sorry, spitter man.
It's like those guys that try and come up and talk to you, and you're like, you're in my face.
Yes.
And then I'm like, I can hear you. Like, you don't have to come closer.
Right.
And then he spits when he talks. And I'm
No, literally the
die.
worst.
Yeah, complete close talker on this
It's
one,
crazy to me
so.
how some guys just don't have those normal social cues and just cannot pick up on the energy, like,
Right.
or just
Especially when
move a
they're
few
like
inches
this
back.
in your face. It's
Yeah.
one thing when you're trying to hear someone in a busy situation, you turn your head to the side to listen, and then you back off.
Right.
You know, and me being tall, I have to do that a lot. So when I'm talking to someone, because I'll go, oh, what was that? And I'll put my head close to them, and then I'll back off space-wise. But
Yeah.
I'm never like standing here like, what?
talking
Like,
into
yeah.
your mouth.
Yeah.
Exactly.
like, your face is too close to mine, buddy. Back up.
Yeah.
Back up.
I've learned from the best in these situations right there. So, all right, Phoebe, so everything's good with you?
Yeah.
Everything is good.
Okay, your
Yeah.
cruise is shooting off now. I mean, so let's talk about your show with Cosmic Love being an astrological like matchmaking show. How was that for you?
It was a very interesting experience, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
I got to be a lead on the show, so I was the fire element because I am a Leo, and I hear we're all Leos in the house.
Yes.
So it was really, really exciting going into it. I actually didn't find out that I was a fire element or was an element until literally the night before we started filming. So like
Wow.
I had got cast obviously, and we filmed it in Malibu, and I was in the hotel. We had to do like a quarantine period. And like all of the executive producers called me into this room, and it was literally the day before, and they're like, "So we have something to tell you." I literally bawled my eyes out in front of like all of the main people from like Amazon executives and all the main producers of the show, and was just so grateful, so full of hope. Wah, wah. But yeah, it was a really cool experience. Obviously, I'd never done reality TV before, so like being in that environment was very different. We don't have cell phones, no laptops, like nothing electronic. We didn't even know like what time it was ever.
Wow. How many days recording, by the way, total for the whole series?
It was about 5 weeks.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
when you come back to your room at night, no social media,
No,
phones?
nothing. Yeah. So we just like handed it all over to the production team before we even walked into the house.
Okay. And everyone, I think you had mentioned, but let us know, like, and by the way, guys, we're talking to Phoebe Davis. She was on the show Cosmic Love, is an Amazon Prime show that just came out with people that we had on our show.
Yes.
Talia Dute and her sister Ophira were actually the matchmakers for the show. So shout out to Talia and her sister.
Yes, I
But-
love my Astro twins.
But you said that, how many houses? There were 2 houses or 1 house for everyone to stay
Okay,
in?
so I'll set the scene. So
Yes.
it was one big. It's called the Cosmic Compound. So it's this big mansion in Malibu, and everyone lived in the same house. The 4 elements, we each got our own room. And so the elements basically represent the zodiac.
Which let them know what that was. Who were the elements, by the way? There was fire.
Yeah, there's
and-
fire, earth, water, and air. And so I was the fire element. So the 4 elements got their own rooms and bathrooms. All the single girls got one big room, and they were living like bunk bed style. So like all the single girls were in one room, and all the single guys shared. I think there were 2 dude rooms, but like they were doing bunk beds.
Okay.
So the most frustrating thing about this show is that the single guys and the single girls are matched astrologically to myself and the other 3 elements as like our perfect match. Like they're essentially there to be matched with us, for us to date them and explore like I mean, it sounds really freaking selfish talking about like this, but that's true. It's the premise of the show.
Yeah,
it's
right.
like kind of like bachelorette-y type of scenario. So I'm going into it thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm going to find the love of my life. Like, and I love astrology. I didn't know too much about it going into it. Obviously, I'm a Leo, so we know a lot about ourselves. But
Here.
yeah. But I went into it very open-minded. The way that the house was set up, basically all the single guys and the single girls spent a lot of time together. So they all had plenty of opportunity to create their own side relationships, basically. And it felt, not only did it feel, this is what happened, like throughout the course of the show, the guys that were there matched for me didn't take it seriously. They had side relationships.
Okay.
And it was really frustrating for me because I'm really digging down deep to like put aside my normal type and really just like give the astrology factor a fair shot and not write people off and connect on these different levels that I normally wouldn't put at the forefront when I'm meeting somebody. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I just continuously was getting all of these roadblocks because my matches didn't really give a shit. They weren't taking me seriously. And I'm finding out all of these rumors that like my matches are hooking up with this person and this person. I'm finding that out from other cast members, but like way later in the show. So like by that point, when I had found out that this person and this person were fucking, I didn't know at all throughout the show. So the way it was edited made it seem like I looked dumb and was like, I'm going to keep this person, because we had the power to like send people home. And rewatching it after like the way they cut it made it seem like, wow, I kept them there knowing that he was
sleeping with her.
Oh,
right.
got it.
Which of course, Are you kidding me? No. Why would I
Yeah.
waste my time with that? Absolutely
Yeah.
not. So like, I don't know. It's just, I'm a little,
Was it really hard for you to watch?
it was a little bit like, I'm not going to lie, a little bit traumatic.
Yeah.
Just like reliving it because the other thing too is we filmed that literally a year ago from right now, and it came out this last August. This is the first time I've talked about the show, you guys. So I'm
Okay.
like,
well, thank you for sharing.
no,
Yeah.
I love it. Like it's been a few months since it has come out, and I feel like I've been able to kind of reprocess it.
Yeah.
And I'm past the point of being like pissed. I'm just like, you know what? This is what it was. This was my experience. I lived it. Of course, the way things are cut and edited, it's going to alter the way the rest of the world sees it. But like, this is my truth. This is what happened to me. And yeah, I don't know. It is
Okay.
what it is. But
Right. Yeah.
Are
it's-
you able to look back, even though it was like a year ago, and identify areas where you feel you can be better, or like things that you're like, shit, I should have picked up on that, or my intuition knew?
honestly, like, I think, I mean, I don't know. It's so hard to put myself back in that position because it was so foreign to me. Like, you don't have your friends, you don't have your family. Obviously, you create your friends and family within the house and
Yeah.
whatnot. But, yeah, I didn't have a say in who my matches were, and I felt like I did give it the old college try to like really get to know them, and see what could like possibly bloom out of it. I don't have any like hard feelings towards any of them. We're actually like all pretty good friends. It just didn't work out romantically,
Right.
but
Like, for example, when I haven't seen the entire show.
yeah, no, that's fine.
But when you knew that the guy was, well, you didn't know at the time that he was sleeping with someone.
Mhm.
Were there any cues like during that period where you were like, fuck, I ignored my gut, he was sleeping with someone, or were you completely blindsided?
Honestly, I was so blindsided. Like
that's the
this is what
worst.
was so frustrating is that the two matches that I felt like I had the biggest connection with, and I'm friends with them, so this isn't like
A knock towards
yeah,
them.
yeah, not
Yeah.
yeah, not at all. But both of them led me on to believe very different things than what was actually happening. So, and I even called one of them out and straight up called him a fuckboy because that's how I felt he was treating me.
Right.
And both of them were like, well, like, yeah, I like this connection. I like you. I also am kind of doing this thing on the side. And I would just be like, okay, that's fine if you're doing that. Totally cool. But just like, let me know, like,
So you
am
can
I gonna,
decide.
yeah, like exactly. Like, am I going to be wasting my time by still trying to pursue something with you? And they, both of them over and over were like, no, like, let's keep, like, I still want to keep getting to know you. So it was like so frustrating because constantly I was being put in this like big question mark bubble when I'm like,
Okay.
you're not even supposed to be dating these other people. And like, of course we're humans and people are horny and are going to hook up with each other.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, you know, like I don't have control over that, but like,
Especially when they're isolating
But
you
I-
and letting the masses just kind
I
of roam
say
around.
that
Exactly,
when you're,
and that's
when you're
exactly
really,
right.
really interested in someone and you want to take it to the next level, you don't entertain other people. And you
Right.
and I have had this conversation
Right.
before. So I feel like if someone is truly wanting to get to know you and pursue something with you, they wouldn't be entertaining anything or
Exactly.
anyone else.
exactly.
But I feel like that's in isolation. Like if they would have separated the boys from the men from the women in that situation, that would have probably have happened in that case. What you just said. But if they're taking the top four and putting them in their rooms and letting like they're in their stables, let's use your stable situation, but and their stables, and here you have just the regular herd out here, they're going to do what they want to do. So at this point in time, you can't really determine
Yeah,
from their point of view. It's like,
Yeah.
well, here's all the fun, but now she's over here and I can't do anything with her until
Yeah.
tomorrow.
yeah, that's
I'm
that's
saying-
exactly how it was too.
Like a real man, though, that was really wanted to pursue something with her, they wouldn't have entertained any
I get
of the
that, but
other-
that's also
or It
different-
would have been hard. Like
Right.
you're put in very tempting situations that's not real life per se. But I'm just saying that I feel like someone that was really wanting to get to know you, they wouldn't have entertained
yeah,
that.
no,
right?
I completely agree. And so it's just like,
Or I feel like it would have given them a better chance if they were like, hey, I'm really into you, but just so you know, I'm hanging out with X, Y, and Z.
Of course.
Then it gives her the opportunity. It's
Right.
like the one relationship that I told you. At least tell me so I can make the decision whether I want to continue to sleep with you or hang out with you.
Right.
But
Yeah.
when they hide that part, it's so unfair.
Right. And I was the one constantly being like, I think this person and this person are like hanging out. And then I'd have to be the one to confront them about it. And then,
Would they lie?
yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't really like a lie, but they just constantly danced around it. Like, it was
Okay.
never a firm answer. Like, yes, I want to pursue things with this other person. Or, yes, I want to pursue things with you. Like, it was always so loosey-goosey. And so I never had any clear direction of what anyone's intentions were with me. And that just really left me to be like, what am I, like,
Yeah.
doing here? And, like, I think something that was not shown in the editing on the show, the way that it came out, is like I feel like I went through so much personal growth through this experience, and all of my like interviews with the camera, you know, and like the one-off room type of thing, confessionals or whatever. I literally felt like that was therapy. Like I would go through huge emotional breakthroughs and like relational breakthroughs in those interviews because I was being put in all these situations in the house that were very triggering. And so while I'd be talking about it, I would just get triggered and cry and process all these things. But they didn't show that in the editing because they had us actually go back and re-record a lot of the interviews
Right.
after we filmed.
I wonder why.
I don't know. I honestly, to this point, to this day, I have no idea why they did that. But
And you're so far removed from it. At that point,
exactly, and
so-
like that's something that is also so frustrating is because after we wrapped filming, it was like 3 months later, and then 2 months after that, they had us go back for 2 rounds to redo some of those interviews. So at that point, I'm like, we filmed 6-8 months ago.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, she's like, I don't even remember.
yeah,
Right,
yeah, and
right.
like they would be like telling me like, hey, like live in the moment. Like, how is this? Like, how do you feel about this situation? And I would just be like, I don't even really remember that happening. First of all, and second of all, I don't fucking care. Like, it's been such a long time. It's so hard for me to put myself in that. But the interviews that were filmed while we were filming were the bread and butter. Like that was all of my story because I didn't fall in love with anyone on the show. I just like kind of learned a new way to love myself in true Leo fashion. But like truly, and it was through those interviews where I was breaking down all of these situations with my matches and people in the house and processing that and how that reminds me of old habits and old partners and how I want to use this situation to confront them. And that's why I made those choices of like, I feel like I'm being played with and I'm going to confront this person because in
Right.
the past I wouldn't.
Okay.
And now I am. So like I'm honestly so frustrated that they didn't use those interviews. And they did use a few. You can tell because I look like I'm high in them because my eyes are red from crying.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can just like tell the difference. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, reality TV is what it is, and I'm still so grateful for the opportunity. Like, I have amazing friendships and connections from that, and I learned so much about myself throughout that process. But reality TV is like you're truly writing your life off, and signing it away for people to push certain storylines and whatever to make it look packaged and good for TV. But yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
Would you
That's
ever
a-
do another reality show?
Probably.
But she would have a lot. I think you would have a lot more like questions, and you probably read through the lines a little bit better on this one.
I mean, yeah, like I definitely loved that environment, and I love, you know?
Yeah.
And like
No, I'm the same.
yeah, and I'm
like
also
such
like
a lover, and I love being in love.
yeah, and I also am like low-key a slut for reality TV. I like it's my vice. Like I love watching those shows. So like to be cast in one as like the original season of a brand new show
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
such an incredible
pretty special.
opportunity.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. And
special.
like I am so proud of it. And like yes, I think anyone who's cast in any reality show has like, you know, butthurt moments about the way something was cut or edited or whatever. Like it's not going to be the way that we want it to be, but like the journey was still the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And the gratitude is still there. And
Well, and hopefully, like you said, you made a couple of good friends out of it as well.
What do you
So-
think your biggest takeaway was? Like a good learning moment for yourself?
I think the biggest takeaway I got was just like, one, trust my own instincts and like what my gut is telling me, because it's so easy to be like, yeah, but maybe I'm the one who's overthinking it and like blah blah blah. But I think your instincts will always point you to the right direction. To trust in yourself more. Yeah, but also like it's okay to take risks and to
Yeah.
be vulnerable. Honestly, that was the biggest takeaway, because I had built up so many walls, and I think you can like that's also kind of shown in the show, and throughout you can see me kind of break down those walls more and starting to open up
Okay.
more and being more vulnerable. The fact that my matches were like cheating or, you know, finding other relationships was not helping with my walls and bringing them down, but like I really had to embrace being more open and vulnerable in order to figure out who I am and what I want and how to properly communicate to someone who you have interest in, and if there is conflict, how to properly communicate.
Right. And not let it drag out. That
Yeah,
sounds
and
what
to
you're
just like
saying.
close it with a bow and
Mhm.
like leave respectfully. Like I don't have bad blood with anybody,
Right.
and
Have
like-
you been able to identify your emotional needs? Like what you need from a partner?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
what would that be? Like what does that look like for you?
I communication, bottom line, definitely needs to be open and honest communication. I also think that I'm trying to think. I like literally have like a list. Like I feel like once I got off the show, I like wrote, because we weren't allowed to have journals either. Yeah,
Wow.
like it was very
She's
much
with her
like
lipstick on the
die.
wall. On the wall. The lipstick. Like, remember
Yeah.
this.
yeah, and I'm a huge journaler.
So am I.
So yeah, I wrote down a huge list of like my biggest takeaways from that whole
Yeah.
experience. I'm trying to like
Or like
go
your
down the
top
list.
3 to 5 emotional needs in a partner.
Yeah,
I feel like people can pick physical like
Yeah.
all day long.
Yeah.
But emotional needs are typically really hard for especially women to identify. I mean, women
Well,
and men.
But that
Yeah.
takes time, though. Like you said, you had said something about being in the house, where I feel like that 5 weeks actually sped up your growth of who you are and what you want out of a partner. You know, so
Yeah.
it did give you something out of it, which is great. But at the same time, it's something where in those situations, everything's moving so fast. You have to really either you're gonna be in it and make choices, or just kind of sit back and just let everything just kind of push you away. You know, like, I mean, just step all over you in
Right,
theory. You know,
right,
So I
yeah.
appreciate the fact that you went in there. Came out of it with just a whole new set of rules for yourself and
Yeah.
awareness. And that's
Yeah.
the most important thing. But it takes time. Like you said something about the guys, where I know myself at that age, even like when, in my late 20s, where I would have been literally the same way, where it's like, oh, well, you know, there's a herd of people here. I'm going to see what happens, even though I'm pursuing you, obviously. But if there's something in my face at the moment, I'm going to go with that, because it's there. It's more frequent. You know, you're around it more, not someone just being locked away going, okay, I have to be prepared for tomorrow. And while everybody else is partying, having a good time, it's like, I'm not going to sit around and wait for the person that's in the room. I'm sorry. I'm going to be with
Yeah.
everyone who's out there right now, and whoever, you know, cream of the crop comes up, that's who I'm
I
going to be
think
attracted
it's easy
to.
for you to say, but if you're really like into someone, then sometimes people get stuck.
No, and
so
I get
they
that.
don't want to like really move on because they want.
I understand that, but what I'm saying, the main beef of the point of what I'm saying is, for guys, it's like, it's a maturity thing. Like, you know, I learned for the first time
100%.
ever when I turned for the, like, you know, my girlfriend now, it's 18 years ago, and I was just like, I need to break up with you because I think I found someone else. And normally I would have cheated on her. I would have just moved on. I would have done these other things, but I had the growth finally go, yeah, I don't want to cheat on this one. She's a really good girl. I need to be honest with her and really
yeah.
communicate. And that's when I started learning how to be the guy who I am now. I can communicate better. I can do things because I took a step to do it the first place. So in these situations, you saying to these, like coming out and saying to these, like confiding or confronting, that's a step for you now. So it's like done the proper way, you're going to communicate much faster. You just have to make sure you can get out of your partner. And that's the step for you right now.
Yeah, for
And I
sure.
feel like it's easy once you kind of take baby steps with it all. So as well. And this is why I tell everyone I like this game, Truth or Honesty, that I play with people, not Truth or Dare, but Truth or Honesty, because you kind of play with each other, say, hey, look, if I can give you this truth about myself that you're going to ask me and you can see my reaction, I get something out of you, that's trust. And that's something that I feel like everyone should do with someone that you start dating. Just throw some shit out there and see how they respond. And if they respond with communication and just with ease, then you have a good partner. So
Yeah.
yeah,
100%.
I believe in that.
So where are you at in the dating game now?
I may or may not be seeing somebody.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep it like private,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going well. I think we're just kind of still in the process of figuring each other out. But like the biggest thing for me is I am so independent. And like, I think this also circles back to that question that you asked me about like emotional needs is like, I need someone who understands that lifestyle that I live. Like, I mean, I'm obviously in entertainment and modeling and everything. So like, I'm super independent. I'm constantly traveling. I'm around beautiful people, men and women all the time. Like they need to be able to like turn their ego off because it's not about them.
Yeah,
and it's just
100%.
that like emotional maturity in a man. And that's the biggest thing. So like, that's also something that I look for in a partner. And fortunately he's great about that. And he also is very independent and like does his own thing. So we're on the
a
right
plus.
path. Yeah. But like all my past relationships have been the guy has confessed his love for me within 2, 3, 4 weeks and like pushes me to date them. And then eventually like I'll push it off because I'm not necessarily ready. And then eventually they kind of like coerce me into dating them. And then I end up dating them for X amount of time and then being like, I didn't really want this relationship in the first place. And then I break their freaking heart. So like, that's kind of my dating history.
Okay.
And this is the first time that I've been seeing somebody where like there's been no pressure from either side. It's just been very organic and hanging out with each other like on our own times, like figuring out without it feeling like there's games being played.
Yeah.
It's just like authentic and nice to be like, I'm going to get to know you at a normal rate. Like there's no rush for anything.
Yeah.
And that's been so nice because I've actually never experienced that before in like dating someone because I really am used to like, I guess dating like betas.
Yeah. Where they like
Seriously.
put the heat on and the pressure and you're like,
Yeah. And then I'm like, I mean, I don't think a true alpha calls himself an alpha, but
They
yes,
don't.
I am. I have
They
more,
don't.
you know what I mean? But like, I do have a
I mean,
lot
we're
of
Leos.
masculine.
Come on,
yeah.
Phoebe. I mean,
We're
God,
born
all-
this way.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do have a lot of masculine energy. So I think it's really important that my partner can have a little bit more masculine energy than me because yes, I am really headstrong and very driven and I know what I want. I know who I am. I'm very grounded in my beliefs and in who I am, but I still want to be feminine. I still want to be treated
yeah.
like a queen, and I want to be like, and be cuddled and all that shit. But it's hard to do that when like the guy is always like, love me, love me, love me.
ugh,
So
annoying.
Yeah. But like, thankfully I'm
It's, like,
not,
exhausting.
yeah, but I'm not dealing with that right now. So like, thank God. But
Good.
yeah, that is kind of,
See, but I always feel like, it's so funny you say that because it's almost like this, everyone has their insecurities when it comes to that. Like you just saying, love me. It's like, no matter how strong a guy is or how strong a woman is, that side of them that's always a weakness in a tell.
But that'll come out over time.
Of course
you
it will.
can't come into a relationship being needy like that.
No,
Yeah.
no,
It's
never.
Huge red
No,
flag.
It's a huge
very
turnoff. Yeah.
unattractive.
Right. Yeah,
So I
I
think
find that
that-
in all aspects, from guys like you as women finding that in guys and me and girls. Like that's one thing I do not tolerate is someone who's like, I'm like,
Whiny.
really? Well, I need to see if you can do for yourself first, and then if you need
Yeah.
me, then I'll step in when you really need me, but not all the time like that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't deal with that.
Okay,
So-
so how long have you guys been hanging out?
we've been hanging out like for like 5-ish months.
Oh, so
I thought
it's
I was
been a
about to meet him
while.
for
Yeah.
a minute there. I thought the next day I might have met him, but
Yeah.
darn it.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, you go. Someone's. So
But yeah, I mean, it's been very slow and steady, but I think that's totally fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
it's the balance. Find the right balance
Yeah.
all the time. So
Yeah.
And I think too, I'm kind of curious, like what you guys feel about this too, is like when I'm entering into a relationship, or if I'm in a relationship or I'm single, at all stages of life, I know that I'm going to be okay with this person and I'm going to be just fine without them too. So like that security and that confidence in who I am is like,
It's a superpower.
it really is.
Yeah.
Cause like I will never go into a relationship being like, I need you, or like, oh, I need,
Right.
you know, it's
So
never.
what was the question?
It's
'Cause it
never
sounds
from
like
a
you're
source
doing
of,
just right.
It's never from a source of lack. It's from a source of like, I'm going to choose to spend my time with you.
Right. But that's growth though. And it takes years of like ever since you decided to be who you are today. That's why you do that. You know, it's a confidence, and you know that you're with them because you want to be with them, not because you need to be with them.
Right.
And vice versa, you're going to be fine without them. So
Yeah.
that takes time and experience, where a lot of people, which we all know, once someone break up someone, they go into this hole where they can't really
Function.
exactly. They're all of a sudden, what am I going to do by myself? What am I going to do about this? It's like, what have you been doing before that? You know, what
I
are you
always
doing?
say it's an opportunity to rediscover yourself.
Yes.
Who you are and who you want to be, because we're always like evolving and growing. So
Yeah.
we're never, hopefully we're not staying the same.
Right.
No.
So it's when people come to us and they're like, oh, we were married for like 20 years and they just changed. Well, of course they fucking changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
They
I would
should.
hope that they would change
Right.
after 20 years. It's just
They weren't paying attention. The person who said
yeah.
that person's changed, they're not paying attention.
Right.
They're not ebbing and flowing with the person. So it's on that person who said that. That's on them, not the person all of a sudden who left them or
Yes.
whatever it is.
Right.
So
And usually along those lines, like there has to be signs, right?
There's always
it's
signs,
not like you
but
just
people
wake up.
ignore them.
Right.
right. I mean, we're just blinded by them sometimes. You know, that's one thing that I learned from my last relationship, my big one. It was just like, she gave the signs, I just chose to ignore them. But I heard her, I just didn't really follow through. So when she broke up with me, it was just like, I wasn't mad about it. I wasn't upset about it because she told me. So I wasn't butthurt. I just had to understand that I was just as much as failure because I didn't give her everything that she wanted, what she was asking for. You know, it's like a moments of stepping up. We can't do it all the time, obviously, but you have to be aware. That's just the main thing.
Yeah.
So with my current relationship going on 5 years, it's just like, we ebb and flow exactly how you said. Like, I want someone who is strong, independent, and can do her own thing. You don't need me for anything, but yet we're together. And that's my favorite type of girl that I date, because I need that strength, because it's like, I don't have time to coddle anyone.
Right.
You know, I want you to pursue what you want to pursue
Yeah,
and
it's
be
like,
the
have
best
your
at it.
dreams and
Right.
your hobbies
and support
and-
you. Like
yeah.
Jamie always says, you know, I want you to win. You know, that's one thing that I want my partner to win, just as much as she
Exactly.
wants me to win.
Yeah.
So, but if you're sitting on your ass doing nothing, I'm out. I will bust out first and foremost. I'll be
Yeah.
gone.
I feel like I'm always winning. So
Yeah.
anyone
Yeah, you
that I
are.
choose is
Yeah.
going to be winning with me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
but you're
100%.
very
But
independent like that as well. Like you are fine on your own.
Yeah, I want to know though, like, what do you bring to the table?
That's
like,
the thing.
like what is it in you that, like, why should I pick you? You know, so
Right. No, that's
some
that's
people just
that's a-
don't like that.
Yeah, but that's how you know that they don't have much to bring to the table.
they can't answer it.
They're like, next question.
Right. You had said something as well when most guys, after like the first 2 or 3 weeks, are like, you know, I'm in love. I want this. I want that. I believe in that, but there's a way to do it. There's a confidence behind it that these guys weren't doing with you. It was more of a controlling situation versus like
Yeah.
saying, hey, Phoebe, look, I love you. This is what I feel that we could be, and let you decide. You know, I don't have to go and like, I almost like drop the mic, like, bam, I'm putting it in your corner, but I'm not going to pursue it in that way where I'm like, come on, like where
Just
I'm
like
pushing you.
relentless.
Exactly
yeah,
right.
pressure.
I give my feelings. I'll let you know what I want. I've done it after a week before. It's like, hey, I think you're great. This is what I want.
yeah,
I
but
think we're good for
you're
this.
not telling her that you love her after a week.
No, not
are
like
you?
that. I'm just saying, but I also know when I spend my time with someone
Yeah.
that I'm spending my time because I know that you're the one. You
Right.
know, like there's a lot of girls that I hang out with, but at the same time, it's
I
that
know, but
thing where
I'll change my mind.
No, and
like
that's-
I think that they're great,
Right.
and then after like we're getting into month 2, and I'm like, yeah, you're not as good as I thought you were.
and that's okay
Yeah.
too. But it's just,
Yes,
but that's
I feel
but
that.
at least you know you're going to commit to that time, and I'm okay with like saying, no,
Yeah.
you know what, it just didn't work. I see the change now. I'm sorry. It's like it's just
well,
not
they
working
say
out.
that you should like it takes about 3 months to really get to know somebody, and that's why I like to take my time, because I'm never in a rush to fall in love. If it's
Right.
gonna happen, I know that it's gonna happen. But in those past relationships, it's been like such a pressure
Yeah.
to I guess, like have ownership.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah,
what
put
it
a
is.
title on it. It's like,
Right.
well, why can't we just keep hanging out and getting to know each other? What's the rush?
It's a fear. It's a fear.
Yeah,
It's an
that's what
insecurity.
guys always do to me.
But
I don't like it.
But unbeknownst to them,
Yeah.
like they want to claim you already. Like,
Yes.
But you
you're
know
not my
why though?
boyfriend.
You know why though? See, this is why I could do my guy episode and just like put it all out there. But the reason why guys do it's because it's an insecurity that if they're with you, I mean, you both are super gorgeous women like that, but now they want claim on you because if they don't, you might leave. You might do something else. You might find someone else. So if they
We're
claim you
already
right away,
picking them, though, to
but they
spend
don't
our
know
time
that
with.
though because their ego's taken over and their ego's so big that they don't care if you chose them.
Yeah, but
they
that's-
don't give a shit about that.
That's I totally agree with you, but I feel like that is why I make them wait. Is
Right.
because it's like that I want to see if they're
If they're
so
serious,
ego
exactly.
driven.
Right.
Yeah, and if like they can remove that, or maybe that they'll have that thought anyway, but just be aware of that thought. And
Right.
be like, no, I don't need to put a title on this
And
or
that, and
right
that's-
away
and
or
it's a
push
very
her
good
or
test.
pressure
She
her.
does the same thing as well. She makes people wait like that who are professed right away. And she's always like, I made this guy, I'm not doing this. And they're like, I'm like, now see how they react. They're either going to move on to someone else or they're going to really put the time in. And the guys that put the time in, at least at that moment, really
Yeah.
want to be with you.
You know, I got like eaten alive on that podcast because they're like, so you're one of those that make guys wait. And I'm like, yeah, I do, because I want to make sure that if I'm like investing my time in you,
Yeah.
if I'm like sleeping with you and committing to you, that it's going to be something long term.
Right.
Because I don't just.
Right.
Well, yeah,
sleep
and
with anyone.
your energy and your time is your most valuable and precious currency. Like
It is.
And your body too. Like I'm not just gonna give that up willy nilly. Like absolutely not.
Right.
I feel like we're out of the norm. In that
No, I
sense.
see.
Yeah.
But once
Because
again,
you're like,
I
if
don't.
there's a connection, you just flow. Why
But-
do you put so much into it? Why are
Right.
you like so in your head? I'm like, I'm really not. I know
Yeah.
exactly.
But
what,
here's something you both are missing, though. I agree
Okay.
with both you girls at the same time, but here's
What are
what's
we
missing.
missing?
You're missing the fact that
Tell
it's
us.
like it's an energy and it's the connection that you have with that person when you know it's right. Like let's say you meet someone, it could happen in
But
3
I
or 4
want to
days.
be sure.
No,
it
no,
feels
but-
like
but
it's going to
hold
be
on, no.
right.
You
like,
no, but you will know because it's the way that both think with what you want out of that from the beginning. What you want, if the guy is willing to say the right things and be the right person, you'll know.
But you can say that within the first week or two of meeting someone, but it takes time to get to know if what they say line up
course
with
it
what
is.
they do.
Yeah, with their
100%.
actions.
So
I agree with that.
I need a little time.
And
so
all
you can tell me and I can feel it, but I need to see it.
And all I do
through
at that
action.
moment is like I hear you. What I do in that moment, I just laugh it off and go, "Okay, it's easy for me because like I'm telling you the truth."
Yeah. Well, maybe you are, but some
I'm an
guys
anomaly.
don't.
I'm an
Yeah.
anomaly. It's like I really am. I'm an anomaly. It's like Travis. I'm an anomaly, right? See, he knows.
You
yeah.
really are. You're like a one of a kind.
Thank you,
perfect
Travis.
husband,
This is why I
boyfriend.
love Travis. Oh, love you, brother. Yeah, but anyways, like I said,
Yeah.
it's just like I go in like headstrong, like head first, going, hey, but I'm very honest. And I'm very open. But at the same time,
Yeah.
it's like I will never make you feel uncomfortable, and I will never overstep my boundaries of what you want.
Yeah.
So it's like a choice that you like. I'm hearing you and be like, I can accept that, but I'm
Yeah.
also going to let you know, like I accept that, but I just want you to know that everything that you want, I can do it in spades, and I'm here. You know, so proof is in the pudding, like you said.
Yeah.
And most people, like you said, their egos take over so much that it's like they want ownership of something because they want it now, just to have claim on. Okay, she's
Yeah.
mine now. I can kind of back off and relax now. Like the pursuit's over now. I can just be my regular Joe Schmo self, who's either a douchebag or whatever.
Right.
You know, I'm not saying all guys are because we're all good guys too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
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 My favorite is when a guy is like, "Oh, I dated so and so," and I'm like, "There's a difference.
Right.
Were you fucking so and so,
Right.
or were you actually dating her?"
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's an ebb and flow. I mean, it's the same as like when I met you and hung out with you. It's like that's who I normally am when I go out with people. Just like I'm very open. I'm very like, you know, there's no hidden agenda. You know, I just like just what it is. And like I thought you were amazing. You know, you and Mallory are great. And so why would I fuck that up? You know, just by trying to hit on one of you. That's fucking stupid of me.
Well,
you know?
I think the other thing too, in asking guys, like, I mean, not even necessarily asking, but like, you know, putting that out there that like, yeah, I'm gonna wait, or like, yeah, you can have the most incredible connection and it
Yeah.
could feel right, but what's right for me is to put boundaries in place, because boundaries are healthy.
They are. They are.
You know, and if a man doesn't respect those boundaries, that's not my husband.
Right.
I'm sorry. Bye.
Right.
Yeah.
You
agreed.
know? So like I think boundaries
Wow.
has a lot to do with it.
I mean, we can try to push the boundaries because that's the fun.
I
of it, but I
mean,
respect
we
the
all push the
boundaries.
boundaries,
Yeah,
I like
obviously.
push
pushing the
them.
boundaries.
I will shove that boundary all the way
No,
to the.
you
Okay, all
won't.
right, yeah.
You
Yeah.
will not.
All right, so we're along the lines of this, guys. We have Phoebe Davis on the show here at Sticky Paw Studios, and here's our episode topic. It's all, once again, every time we do this, it coincides with what we're talking about. Could I date myself? Imagine if you could date yourself. What would that be like? Let's discuss all the positive and negative qualities that you have, and would it be difficult or would it be easy to date yourself? Think about that. And you've answered a lot of your questions, like emotional growth. It's like things that you would not put up with for yourself. You'd expect that from someone that you're dating as well.
Yeah.
So this, I think, is like an exercise for all of us.
So what are your non-negotiables? Do you know what your non-negotiables are?
100%. They have to love Jesus.
Okay.
I'm a Christian, so that's really important for me as
So
for,
you
like, a
wouldn't date
foundation.
someone that's Jewish.
They would just, I mean,
They don't believe in Jesus.
yeah,
But they believe in God.
Yeah, they do.
They believe in God,
But
but
that's
they don't.
close
well,
enough. I
you're-
mean,
yeah,
are we going
they
to be
just-
specific here?
All right. They have to believe.
I don't like
they just have to
potatoes,
have
but I eat
faith.
French fries.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
Faith and foundation is
Okay.
like my number one non-negotiable.
Okay, so some type of faith.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And
George Michael faith, or
Oh my God.
I'm just asking. I just want to know. Sorry. See?
for sure, faith. The other non-negotiable is not being needy, respecting boundaries, clear communication. Honestly, I feel like I would be such a good girlfriend,
Yeah.
or I would date myself.
Right.
I'd be a good boyfriend, girlfriend to myself.
Okay.
Because I would be very hands off, very trusting, and I'm so rooted in empathy
Mm-hmm.
that I just always put myself in the other person's shoes and always try to view a situation from multiple perspectives and give the person the benefit of the doubt. But I feel like I do a very good job of creating a safe space for somebody to be vulnerable with me and for me to really hear them, which is also a reason why guys fall in love with me very quickly, unfortunately.
So do you think that could come off as maybe you not being interested?
I do get that a lot, actually.
Like, I didn't think that you were really interested in me.
Not that I'm not interested in them because I don't know. I do like not playing games, but
Right.
like I think a little bit of like cat and mouse
It's fun.
is fun. Yeah. And like
Right.
I like to have fun in my relationships, obviously. And I'm also super sarcastic and have a good sense of humor. So like I like to do that. But I've gotten a lot of feedback from guys that are like, you're very, very hard to read.
See, and
I'm
I
like a
don't-
mystery.
I have to disagree
Which
with
is-
that. So, and
But I
I'm
kind of
gonna-
like it. I like
Right.
being it.
I'm going to say that, and I disagree to the point of the fact that I feel like when hanging out with you that night and stuff, like I pick up on a lot of signals of just women and just wow, like who they should be dating, why aren't they dating, and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, so
for-
what did you pick up
So
on?
no, everything you just said was like it's to the point, by the way, of who you are, and I find that very dateable, by the way, and because it's like you like everything you just said, you just have to find a partner who is willing to, once again, if they're thinking that you're not interested in me, then they need to be strong. Once again, it's about strength and security. It's like everything you just said. It's like that's my prototype. I mean, I feel like, and these are what people should be looking for. Like you should be dating not your narcissistic self side, because we can't be dating that. But everyone should have something where you're equal, but it's a little bit different, but you're equal. And that to you, it's like that's the perfect guy for you right there. It's hard to find because once again, it's just like if they feel like they're not interested, if you don't find them interesting, why? That means they don't have a life of their own. So it's like you saying that someone works too much. How Frankie earlier was saying, one of our guests earlier was saying that, when you're a workaholic like that, it's very hard for people to date him because they're so focused on something.
It would be hard for me because
It'd be
I
very
want to feel
hard.
like I come first.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. But at the same time, if she's giving you all this support, emotional support, she's there for you. She wants to talk to you. She's a fan of yours. She wants you to win. What's not interesting about that
Yeah.
to someone?
Well, I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
Well, this is true. Yeah. So that's all. But that's my soapbox on that one.
Yeah.
I live for that stuff. That's someone I want to date. That's why my current girlfriend, with what she does, it's like
What are your non-negotiables? I feel like you don't even have any.
Anything goes, baby.
Oh, I never really thought about that. No,
I know.
I don't. Well, one of them, don't be too needy for one. I don't want someone who's just too much into themselves. That's a big one for me. You know, it's like I want someone to be just like emotionally available. Someone who can communicate well. Mine's really easy, by the way. It's like, you know, it's like I just don't want someone who's just. I want someone who's just a good person. You know, it's like where you're not like hung up on stupid shit. You know, like a girl is like
what's
who
stupid?
gossip and talks about, wow, you know, like she didn't buy. Like I don't want to whine or communicate. Like someone who just like always has to find drama. I don't want someone who's drama. Mine's easy. That's just top of the board for me.
Yeah.
Everything else, I'm open and willing to explore. Whatever. It's just like we can move forward that way. But if you're whiny and just too much drama, no.
Yeah.
And I can
or
read
just like
that
a victim
quickly.
mentality.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I can pick that up right away, and I'm just turned off. I'm like, oh my god, let me just walk away. So, yeah. What about yours?
Yeah, what are your
You know
non-negotiables?
mine.
I
are
know,
the
but
same.
she doesn't know yours
Oh,
though.
yeah, mine are a little aggressive, but yeah, I just have like my top 3 that I'll usually ask straight out the gate is if they watch porn, if they're into guys. So I don't like dating anyone that's bisexual or like into men, and then drugs is a non-negotiable for me.
Right. Well, what about an emotional side? Like, let's talk about since we're on this subject of could I date myself? What are you looking for emotionally that you have in you that you're like, oh, that's not that? Let's talk about
So-
the negatives now.
Negatives.
Yeah.
What would you say? Yeah, I can't date that person because
Well-
I have this part of me. I couldn't deal with 2 of that.
I feel like for the longest time I was very like emotionally unavailable. So I would always pick people that were also like unavailable because I wasn't available to the hurt, if that makes sense. So those are
Like you're numb.
So
You're
I
just
would
numb to
avoid
stuff.
people that are like emotionally unavailable are unavailable to the hurt because they don't want to be hurt, so they guard themselves.
Right.
If that makes sense. So we pick partners that we know aren't going to be available.
Too much of a risk.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's never any sadness in that relationship because it's just like crickets just chirping the whole time.
Well,
when you guys
no,
get
I
on.
just feel like I was always like in charge.
Got
See,
it.
So-
maybe that's what my problem was that I've been emotionally unavailable. And then it's like I'm
Were
the
you
one.
afraid of getting hurt?
I mean, I don't know. I just don't think I was in love with them as much as they were
In love
But
with
that's
you.
not afraid of being hurt
Well,
or
that's
emotionally
because we
unavailable,
pick
though.
people that were in
where
charge.
I know I have the power.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you were saying that
that's-
earlier.
I mean,
Yeah.
see, that's one of my negatives for sure.
But
As I
you
like
said that you learned earlier on, which is a key to your
cycle.
well, to kind of getting you into a better space is you learn to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
So people that are typically emotionally unavailable, they have a very difficult time being vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
because we're always like, I can do it. I got it myself. Like I'm in charge. So it goes with those qualities and traits of being very like independent, like in charge.
But can you
Mm-hmm.
read that though? What you just said, it's like you're afraid of being vulnerable when you're with someone or as is yourself. Let's go back to you again, dating yourself. If you feel like you're afraid of being vulnerable, can you read that in someone if they're feeling the same unemotional way?
Sometimes,
So what do
but I
you do? What
feel
do you tell?
like-
What do you ask them? Do you say something to them?
Well, it's a them issue. So like for me, it's not like any of my partners could have fixed that in me. It's
I get
something
that.
that I have to identify in myself and I need to be better at. So I can't teach someone to be vulnerable.
But
they
you can
have
ask
to be open.
questions, though, is what
we
I'm
can
asking.
ask questions, but for someone that's not like emotionally available, they have to identify that first. And sometimes people are in a space where they can't even identify it
course.
within themselves.
Right.
So they
Right.
don't even know.
Okay.
So it's a timing thing. So
Okay.
that person, I can't teach them to be like vulnerable. I can ask them all the questions in the world, but until they're really open to exposing themselves
Mm-hmm.
and being vulnerable, then it's probably not going to work. If
But
that makes sense.
I feel
Yeah.
I feel if you ask the right questions, like you might be able to open that up. And isn't that the whole point of like a
so
relationship?
for example, I'll name drop here. Like Joe. Joe was very like in tune with
I've always liked you, Joe. FYI.
he was very like in tune with like his emotions and where he was like in his
That's why I
space.
like you, Joe. Once again.
But the issue was I going to be vulnerable? so no matter how great of a partner he
Right.
was, like if I wasn't in the space of opening up and being vulnerable, then the relationship's never really going to work. If
Right.
that makes sense.
I understand that.
Because
I
you have to
understand
be
that.
in a place of receiving.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, because
Right.
you
And
can't.
I wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and
I
I
had too many like of my own things going on to where like I couldn't open up and be a good partner.
Yeah, and it sucks
Essentially.
because it's like you can't go, like you just said, you can't go anywhere from that. You know,
No.
it's like
There's only
it's
like
ultimately
so
gonna-
much that
Yeah.
you can
Right.
give.
Right.
And when another person loves you so much and they're pouring so much into you and your cup's overflowing, but their cup's like trickle, trickle.
Yeah.
Because you don't have much to
And
give.
then he's
Yeah.
You know?
always, he was always like, gosh, you know, and then so the fights aren't really about the fights. The fights are more about me not being like available.
Right, I get that.
So
Mhm.
he's like, I call you all the time, and you're like, I don't want to talk, because then it comes off as them being needy. But really, it's not them being needy. It was me not being
Attentive
available.
or
Yes,
aware.
available.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
For sure.
So
Do you feel that way then? Off that note, when you just said you might feel like you might be unemotional available? Or
I
is
mean,
it-
I have most definitely been in that place
Yeah.
before. Absolutely. I
Okay.
can 100% relate to that.
right. Yeah, I just shut down for a minute and just have to recharge half the time. So
yeah, I think it's just like identifying where we're at in
Yeah.
that time.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we are available, but we just it's a timing thing, and then
Yeah.
we pick the wrong people that don't really like align with us and where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Yep.
All right. Are you
and
both?
maybe she's like in a better space now to where she's learned from being on the show, so it's just going to make her that much better of a partner. And like she said, she's taking her time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Especially with the new one.
Right after the show, I actually dated somebody, but because the show hadn't come out yet, I wasn't able to be public with that relationship. That was the first time I ever dated a narcissist.
Oh.
And so I feel like that was one of the first relationships that I went into being the most emotionally available, because it was right after the show and I had felt so empowered and had learned so much.
Right.
Fell for the wrong fucking person.
And did he fucking trample your heart?
Yep. Literally worst relationship I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah. And I never dated a narcissist before, but like after the relationship, I researched so much about narcissism, and it was sickening how much it was like I was reading a book about what I had just experienced. And so now I feel like that's also another reason that reaffirms take more time, because people show their true colors
they
after a certain
change.
amount of time. And like
Absolutely.
people
Mhm.
can be very direct with their intentions right at the beginning, and you can think that, wow, he's honest and communicative, but it's hard to tell
Yeah.
who's genuine and who's
I know.
a narcissist who's using
Especially
you.
when
Like,
everybody puts their best foot forward, which always happens that way.
Exactly.
So I understand that, which sucks.
And how long did that
Yeah, how long
play
did
out
that
for
last?
you?
that was a 3-month relationship. Very short.
It's
very,
so crazy.
very
I
intense.
say this all the time. It's like the short ones literally have a habit of like breaking us open and exposing us. But what a gift that he kind of gave you,
I honestly,
because you were able
yeah.
to dive into yourself and come out better than the space that you were in.
Yeah, 100%. I will always say that was like, God saved me
Right.
from that toxic relationship, because I didn't even know how toxic it was until it was over. And then I was like, oh my gosh.
Right. And that's just 3
I
months
can't-
in.
yeah, and I can't
Man.
even
Well,
imagine-
2 or 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about the
It's the
same.
same.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, they don't
Mm.
last long typically. But like, oh, I'm so grateful. 2 weeks later, I was walking swim week.
Great.
That's the
Yeah.
best motivation I need, is like, oh, you're gonna fuck me over? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Watch
Here
me
we
win.
go.
Yeah.
All right. What are your negative qualities? What you think that are in yourself?
I think for me, I'm perfect. No, I'm kidding. I am like, I can be needy to a certain degree.
Okay.
Like we're Leos. Like I want attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a jealous person by any means, but like I do want attention.
And their
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's hard though, even when you're trying not to really want it, and you know that you want, like
yeah.
you know, you said when you're
and
feeling
because
needy.
because I'm
Yeah.
so hard shell, like I'll never like project that I like need that attention. I mean, maybe I'm more fucked up than I actually think I am, honestly.
We're gonna get it all out today, Phoebe. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh
We'll
my
get it all
gosh.
out.
Another
No.
therapy session. I love this for me.
No, but continue though. Like the needy thing, like that's why do we always put a label on needy when it's done? I want to call it the right way. Like when
Yeah.
you're really in that mode. I call it the mushy phase. That's what
Yeah.
I call it. When I'm like I go to my go. I'm feeling a little mushy today, and I'll stay in it for hours. But at least I'm putting it out there that this is how I feel
Because
right
it's
now.
like far and few between.
And it's so far and few between. So I recognize it and I let people know. So just let them know.
Yeah.
Look, you know what? I'm feeling needy today. And all they're gonna say is, okay. They're either gonna say, come on, let's get it in, and that way it'll squash it. Now you're good for another
and then
month
she's
or two.
good for like a few
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
So-
Literally.
But I think just knowing that she's like a priority, and maybe that that they can come to you when you need
Right.
need it.
Which, honestly, that's not a negative thing.
No,
it's
it's
like
not.
a basic human need.
But that's what I'm saying, though. It's not like
God on me, damn it.
What I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. Why can't you just do that to where it's like, it's like, look, I'm feeling this today, and it's like you're not, and that person recognizes, well, she's not that every day. Like if you're needy every day, I'm like,
Yeah, that's
fuck
true.
again for the umpteenth time today.
Yeah,
You're
that's
needy
true.
again. What the
Yeah.
hell? I'm walking out. I need a
Yeah.
break. Give me a
It
drink.
is like a once a week
Right.
situation.
Okay. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's
Yeah.
the same as you saying, you know what? I need a hug. I need a kiss. Like what the fuck? Let's talk.
Yeah, and it should. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
communication.
I would say.
Why are we afraid of that?
Yeah. I think I actually do struggle with that. And that is something like
Because it's being vulnerable.
exactly.
That's why.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like I think the journey to vulnerability is a very long road, especially for someone who's been so emotionally unavailable for such a long
Mm-hmm.
time
Right.
to get to that place where it's like I'm open, baby. Like
Right. Because you're afraid of the fear of what the response might be.
Yeah.
Which usually sucks.
Yeah.
And the bad part is when we get a good response, you're kind of like shocked and you're like, and then all of a sudden we break ourselves out of, no, I can't be that way.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to like be open. Now I'm like, it's too much. I
Yeah.
can't do that again. I mean, how many times have we done that? Once
It's
again,
just
we're
a
all Leos. We
balance.
do that a lot. Like
Yeah,
I catch
it's a
myself going,
balance.
oh my God, I was being a little like needy
No
bitch
one
yesterday.
wants
And I was
someone
like, I
that's
can't do
needy
that again.
all the time,
Right.
and you don't want someone that's like macho all
Right.
the time.
How was that
So-
again? All the
All the
time.
time.
Right, Jamie? Yeah, exactly. That's one. See, I feel like that's one of her negative strengths, though. I feel like you need to be more
I like
vulnerable.
that he's identifying my
no, you,
negative.
it's like you need to be more vulnerable.
It's
I
like,
feel
this
like
is what you need to
like,
work
yeah.
on.
I've known her long enough to say,
Yeah.
as a friend, I think you need to be more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Actually, sometimes, and not afraid of being that way.
I'm working on that.
I know you are.
Yeah.
Just,
Thanks to my therapy sesh.
All right, here's
Jagger.
a fun one along the lines that I go. Do you get stressed out in heavy situations?
I do to a certain degree.
Mhm.
I think I have for sure worked so much on myself to get better about this because I used to, oh my gosh, like if somebody was driving the wrong way and it
Right.
pissed me off, I would like have road rage
Okay,
for
for
like,
them, or you mean as a passenger? You're saying, right?
No, like
I mean, you're not the one driving.
no, if I was driving.
Oh, gotcha.
Are you talking about like you're talking about within a relationship?
No.
Probably.
I'm just saying, like, just in general. Remember, like, you're dating yourself, so it's like I just want to know, like, are you like? For me, it's like I get stressed out on things that I produce. Like, I'm never stressed out in situations. I get stressed out when there's things that are out of my control.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Yeah.
So.
I think certain things used to set me off,
Okay.
and I would get really stressed out about it, and then it would kind of like trickle into my day and,
Yeah.
and spill over into different areas. I don't do that as much anymore, thank God.
Okay.
And I think I direct a lot more attention towards like, is this something I can control? Is it not? If it's not something that I can fix, like I don't need to stress about it. And plus, like with my faith, I'm just kind of like,
Okay.
I'm just gonna give that up to God.
Gotcha.
But like, of course, I'll take responsibility if it's like something that I can.
Right. So you can get rid of a bad day, like
Yeah.
what I mean, or do you just let that bad day just like hang as a cloud all day long?
No,
over you?
no. And I think in the past I did kind of used to project that
Mm-hmm.
onto my partners because they were like, easy targets in a sense, and
The only one in the room.
yeah. And now I don't do that. Like I very much process it in much healthier ways.
Okay.
Usually at the gym.
Okay, yeah, that's a good outlet.
Yeah.
What about you? You handle stress? Yeah, yay, nay, good with that?
Ask the full question again.
Okay, so like the question is, do you get stressed out in heavy situations? Remember,
Not
you're dating
really.
yourself. So if you get stressed out, what if your
No, I
partner's
don't
like,
feel like
really
I do.
stressed?
I think that I've put myself in enough uncomfortable situations that I deal with stress pretty good.
Okay.
To where I think most people, and my shoes would lose their shit.
Yeah.
Like I just got served the lawsuit.
Yeah.
And I feel like most people would be like,
It would
and
ruin
so
their
it was
day.
like, yeah, it was one thing after another for me. And I'm like, another lawsuit.
Just your typical Tuesday.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm pretty good in stressful situations, but dating someone that's not, I think they would have a really tough time coming into my space.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, here's a good one. Would you introduce yourself to your family?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm great with
Yeah.
families.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I get nervous. Because
Okay.
I always feel like I'm judged based on my Instagram.
So
They're
then-
like, oh.
I mean, I feel that too, 100%. But
Confidence-wise, you got it going into. You know, you got it.
yeah, I mean, I know who I am,
Okay.
and like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that take, would you feel that way then too?
Yeah, I feel like once people get to know me, they like me, but I do feel like a lot of times, like I'm prejudged based on what they see online or
Yeah.
if they Google me.
Okay. So if you're bringing someone into your family, then do you
Oh,
feel the same
geez.
way for that then? For them? Because
For them, I mean, my family's fucking crazy.
Right.
It's like 4 Christmases.
Okay.
If you've ever seen that movie. I feel like they'll take one look at my family and be like, holy shit, what
Yeah.
did I get myself into?
Which just give them some warning. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I love walking the family situation. I'm like,
Ugh.
just let's go.
And
It's
my
like,
brothers are just so intense that I'm like, I feel like I have to give
Prep.
a pre-warning.
Yeah.
Like, just watch out.
Right.
protect yourself.
Yeah.
Wear
my
a
brother's
cup.
probably going to fucking tackle me within the first 5 minutes. It's normal.
Versus them going, what the fuck is
It's
wrong
going
with this
on.
family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they're really aggressive and hands-on.
Right. Oh my God. All right. This is a good one for you girls, both because I know you're like, I can already tell your personalities. How open to new things are you?
I love trying new things.
Okay.
I love pushing myself outside my comfort zone. I feel like that's where all the growth happens for sure.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Same?
Same.
Okay. Yeah. I love that too. And here's another one. Here we go. Separate time. What's your view on separate time?
I love separate time. I think my me time is really important,
Right.
especially like first thing in the morning. I like my first, I call it my hour of power. So it's like no social media. Like, don't ask me a lot of questions. Let me have my coffee, journal, set my intentions for the day.
Yes, that's such a good morning routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same for you, Phoebe, then on that?
Yeah, alone time is everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So now turning it on the flip side now, you're okay with your
Yes.
mates
I
having the same.
learned that from
Oh,
Taylor.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Another one too that I want to ask you is, what about? Here's a really fun one. When you go out, do you share food? Are you
I
a
do.
sharer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
You
do.
both
I
go-
usually,
Why are
like-
you both smiling? You're both like, yeah,
Yeah.
Because I like to have him order.
yeah.
Because like usually we'll go somewhere where like he knows the menu's really good or whatever, and I'll be like, you pick.
I love
I'm
that.
the same.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, just like if there's like whatever you want in there, order that and the other thing because I'll eat anything and everything.
Yeah, same.
Love
yeah,
that.
and I
Order
love
for
trying
me.
new food, so I'm like, yeah, let's like get two
And then
dishes.
if he
and
orders something, like I want to like eat his.
Always. No one's ever a hoarder. Then that's good. I
Yeah.
like that. That's a good one. All right, and there's another one here. How about let's see, sports or no sports? Are you both in the sports? And if you're dating yourself, would you want that person watching sports all the time? This is
I've dated both.
Okay,
So I've
yeah.
dated guys that are really into sports, like overboard, and then guys that watch completely no sports at all, which I thought was weird. But my last 2 relationships, they didn't watch any sports
okay.
at all.
Okay, but
So-
that means you're for your personal self. You as yourself, you're not in the sports. Then
I
in
used
theory,
to be
though.
really into sports, but like I said, the last 2 guys that I dated pretty seriously were not. So now I'm not really on the whole like sports kick.
Gotcha. What about you, Phoebe?
I like sports. Like I grew up going to games with my dad and my siblings. So yeah, sports for sure. I'm not
Okay.
like Monday night
diehard.
football, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
right.
I don't really give a shit to be honest. But like I like going to games and
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
So you have
everybody
inflow.
can have a
Like
hobby.
I had an
Okay, good.
extreme where he was like really into college football and regular football. So football season, it was like all day Saturday and all day Sunday was like football.
Right.
And that was like annoying to me.
Okay, well,
so
that-
we
and
couldn't
that's
do
what I wanna know
anything, and
because-
I'm like, peace out.
Yeah.
Once again, remember, this
but then
is
you
like
get
I'm
me
going
time.
on a hike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if she takes the me time versus
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
some
Well,
people's
I
like,
would take weekends. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll be in New York.
Yeah.
she's like, I'll be
Catch
gone
you on
all
the
of football
flip.
season.
Yeah.
If you're in the college, I'll be back
So-
when the season's over.
Yeah.
But then
So-
he'd get pissed. He would be like, why are you going away? I'm like, yo, you're watching football for
Right.
the weekend. I'm going to go do me. So I don't want to sit around and watch football all freaking weekend.
Right.
Like, I don't mind watching a few games, but not all freaking day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an ebb and a flow
So,
with that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's
I mean,
like
I
a
watch-
compromise thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone's too like obsessed with a particular hobby, it's like
It's weird.
you gotta
right?
give up something.
Yeah.
Like compromise.
Like, stop wearing his jersey. Like, like you're a grown man
Yeah.
and you're like cool in your own, but
I call
yeah,
it, for
it's,
me,
like,
I call it the golf
obsessed.
theory. Like I for myself, if I'm looking at dating myself, like I could not date someone who actually played golf on a full Saturday because that's a full day of sports right
Oh my
there.
gosh,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? It's just like, I mean, you're going off every Saturday. That's time that you might have together that's just being thrown out there, and there's no compromise on that.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
a golf is a full day commitment.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Right.
It's
right.
not just like, oh, one game or like
Yeah, like you're
it's the
gone for
second half.
hours.
Like, yeah.
You know?
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Yeah. My sister's husband plays golf all the time.
Okay.
All the time. Now she golfs with him.
See, but that's she
so I'm like,
joined in
good
then.
for
That's
her.
great.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to be out there all day. Like
No.
I'll come drive the cart for the first like 8-9 holes,
Yeah.
and then I'm out.
Like find me at
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, I like a driving range. Driving ranges are fun.
Yeah.
See, but
they
that's
are
quick and
fun.
easy
Yeah,
though.
like
That's
I love-
something
I
that's
love a
quick and
Topgolf
easy.
night.
Yeah. Oh my god, I
Yeah.
love Top
Why
Golf. By
not?
the way, that's a
Like,
good
why
place,
can't
though.
it just be like 4 holes?
Yeah, mini golf.
I don't play golf, so yeah, it's too slow for me. So it's like baseball. I can't watch. That's too slow.
Oh, I
I
love
need.
baseball.
Do you? But can
I
you
just
sit
think-
and
I love
watch it all day
baseball.
long?
yeah,
though?
yeah.
Okay.
I
all
mean,
right.
not all day, but I'll watch a full
Yeah.
game.
I'm like,
I
come
like
on, go,
it.
hey
I
babe, I
love
got I
going
got a
to the
double
games,
header.
Yeah,
too.
so fun.
I got a
Yeah.
double header to watch today. That's
Do you
8
eat
hours
a hot
worth of.
dog? Sorry.
I love hot dogs. I love hot dogs.
Will you eat it at a baseball game?
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, me too.
We
I
got
get
a,
so
we got a great
excited to
place
get a
that's
hot
opening
dog.
up. Hot dogs.
Frankie Springs.
Previous guests like I'm opening up a hot dog stand. So.
Yeah.
But go
Yeah.
Bryce Harper, by the way. We have to have you on the show.
Oh my god, that'd be great for sure. I mean, so guys, this is what. So we're getting at just basically like think about that. If you could date yourself, then anything that you aren't into, like for instance, like I need a tidy, clean house. If that person I'm dating is not clean and tidy, I can't date you. You know, that's something that I can.
Messy car.
Oh, messy car. I can deal with that for if they acknowledge the fact going. I'm sorry, I didn't clean my car. It's been a week. If they acknowledge it, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but what
it's
if
an
it's
ongoing,
always messy?
then that's like I
Like you
can't.
have like
No. like hoarder status,
Oh.
like living
Yeah,
out of
there's-
your car,
Yeah.
where it's
McDonald's
like,
trash
yeah,
everywhere.
there's trash in the back, like
Uh,
from fast food.
Yeah, a clean
No, that's
kitchen to me.
gross.
That's like
Like
that's,
every
yeah.
time you get out of the car, you should be removing the trash.
Yeah.
Always. I mean, always. I tell them. Yeah, I tell everyone in my car that I'm like, what's that on the floor? Pick that up when you walk out. Don't leave it on my floor.
Or change. I don't want your change in my cup holders. Sorry.
Oh my god. What about bathrooms are a huge deal for me. So I do have some deal breakers. It's kind of silly though, but you know.
Toilet paper under or over?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Toilet paper over, baby.
Yeah. High five. Nice one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
over
the same
too.
way.
What are
Yeah.
you, Travis?
I'm over. Yeah,
Okay.
it's over all day.
So you think about that when you put it on there.
yeah, I have to. Sometimes I trip myself up and I have
Okay.
to undo it. And
You
redo
guys,
it.
Yeah.
if I go in someone's bathroom and the toilet paper is under, I flip it
Me
over.
too.
I do too.
Me
Like,
too, yeah.
all the
And I'll like
time.
secretly be like, oh, it's bad luck. Like I have to flip it for them and it's
So
gonna give them
funny.
good luck somehow.
So my girlfriend is under. Like, and by the way, she's neither or. She
wonder
just doesn't. She
why.
just puts it on there and just
Yeah,
goes.
no preference.
And I'm like, so I have to go in behind. I never say anything. I'm just like,
I just
flip
do
it.
it.
I just
yeah,
flip
I
it.
don't.
I don't say
anything.
yeah.
anything.
Sometimes I think she flips it back on purpose though.
No
now.
one's
I
gonna
think-
know.
Yeah. no
How will
one's
they
gonna
know?
Oh,
What
here's
about
a-
what about
gonna
power to
know.
the people who do it vertically, where it's just like vertical and you just
Oh,
pull
on
it?
the side
Yeah,
filler? Well,
yeah.
I think that's.
I've never seen that.
No, I
That's
feel
like-
like that's someone who just have the space to put a ring on the thing or whatever. That's just people who just have that
Oh, leave it on
five
that-
what is it? The
No.
five
Oh.
toilet ringer.
Yeah, I know. And they don't actually.
You know what
have,
I'd
like, a
be
clip
worried
for it.
about? The toilet paper dropped on the floor and then they just put it there. Like, how do I
Ooh.
know if this rolled on the floor?
You mean
This
like
is where
like you
my
mean they didn't
mind
put it back
goes.
on the
Well, you know how it
spool?
just sits in the thing? So I won't even touch
Right.
that toilet paper because I'm like, maybe it like fell on the floor and then they just put it there. And
Right.
Yeah,
that's
I'm really
that's
weird.
a little
I
looking
don't
into
know.
things too
I
much.
know.
I might do that at your house just because.
What
No,
about when
don't.
people just put a full roll on top of an empty roll? Straight
so
lazy.
annoying. Yeah, I don't like it. You're out.
But guys, what if it's a complicated thing that you can't open? You know, some of those things are very complicated to open. Not saying that I
Guys,
would
what if
do
they're
that.
fresh out of toilet paper? What are you gonna do?
Okay, toilets. Well, this is for me. Toilet seat up or down. I have to. I'm a good guy. I put the toilet seat down all the time. Like I can't, even if I walk to the bathroom and it's up, I will kick the toilet seat down, even though it's not my bathroom. So I just cannot stand a toilet seat up.
I think it's
because I
gross.
don't. You know what it is
It
for
just
me?
looks ugly.
Because if I'm
Yeah.
leaving that bathroom, I don't want someone to presume that I was the one that left it open. So I always make sure I close it no matter what. It could be in the grossest, nasty ass bathroom. I am closing that toilet seat because I'm the next one leaving, and
Yeah.
someone's walking in, and they're gonna think that I was the idiot who left it, the nasty ass who did it, not that person.
I know.
Yeah, that's a big deal for me. Yeah.
All right, what's next? Enough about toilets.
Kicking the ice or not kicking it? No, I'm
Oh
kidding.
my god. Oh my god.
She proposed to me one time. She goes, Chris, if there's ice on the floor, would you kick it or leave it?
Like, you know when you get ice and sometimes a cube drops on the floor? Like, do you pick it up or do you kick it?
Like kick it under the fridge.
Yeah.
Depends on if there's a dog around.
Oh.
If there's a
before
dog
the-
around, I'll
Someone
be like,
else
get the
said
ice.
that. Then they
Okay.
then
Yeah.
the dog
Well,
would
that's
pick it
just
up.
lazy, Phoebe.
Otherwise, I'll pick it up and like just throw it in the sink and let it melt
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, if it's someone else's house though, do you pick it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm very like aware of other people's houses and the way other people like their space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I will like do someone's dishes for them at their house and
I
like
appreciate
make
that.
sure it's like
Yeah.
I like
love
to
that.
like leave it but nicer than when I came
Yeah.
type
Right.
of thing.
I appreciate that as well. So
I like it. When I
bed
was
maker?
at Chris's house, I kicked the cube under the fridge. But at my house, I pick it up.
Do you make your bed or not make your bed?
I do make my bed.
Yay.
Yes.
Yeah. You make your bed really well.
I make
too.
my bed every day, and I even make the beds when I stay in hotels.
Oh, do you really?
Ah.
You know what? I have to confess, if I'm by myself, I actually make the bed at my hotel as well. I do that, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
Yeah.
perfect, but I at least like
Yeah,
pull
pull
up
the covers up.
I
so
do
the
that.
room
I didn't
looks
even
tidy.
think about
Yeah.
that. Wow.
It's a habit.
Yeah,
I knew
it's a
you
habit
did.
too. I do
picked
that.
him up one time because I was running behind.
Mm-hmm.
And we came to studio. We had like a couple episodes that day. And I was like, you know what? I didn't make my bed. Can we go home so I can make my bed? And he was like, what? And I'm like, it's really bothering me.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. So we literally went to my house so I can make my bed.
Yeah, I think about stuff like that. You know that situation when you pass something by, like if you see, like for instance, like like you're doing laundry maybe later that day, and you throw it on the floor or something, and you pass it by enough times, you go, I just can't leave it. I can't
I
leave
gotta
it. Like
pick
if
it
I
up.
pass an unmade bed, I have to make the bed.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So-
Does Jamie leave her dirty clothes on the floor?
No, she does not. Yeah.
Do you leave your dirty clothes on the floor?
I really try not to. I mean, I have a hamper, but if like
Yeah.
my hampers has clean laundry because I'm doing laundry, then yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or a long
have,
night
like, a
out,
little
I'm
You don't
like,
want
pile.
them to touch.
Yeah.
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 or a
Yeah.
frisky night out, I'm like clothes all over the floor.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Panties.
Yeah, on the lamp and
Shit.
everything. All right, guys. What else would we want to ask Phoebe today? Phoebe, you've been amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
You've been a
Thank
great,
you.
fun guest today. So, what do you have going on for you right now? I know you just shot a commercial, by the way, and things like that. So, what's going on in Phoebe's future, near future?
Yeah.
Present.
Things are exciting and picking up. So I'm based in San Diego, but I've been going to LA a bunch lately, which is super exciting, going on meetings. I met with a modeling agency yesterday, actually, and they offered me a contract.
Nice.
So
Congratulations.
Yay.
Thank you. So I'm still like going over all of that process. So I'm not going to name names or anything yet, but it's just really exciting. Like I feel like I'm finally starting to get established, not only in San Diego, but crossing over into LA, which like obviously that's where all the work is. And then I do sing, so I'm going to start venturing into recording music. I'm
Nice. I
super
love that.
excited for that.
She just met with my manager the other day, and they got along really well.
Yes.
So I'm
and now
excited
I'm
about that.
I'm
Shout out to
working.
Michelle.
Yeah, now we share a manager. Shout out Michelle. Love you.
Shout out. She will steer her down the right path. I feel like, it's funny, like just sitting with you and knowing you over these past weeks, like I feel like you're like that star in the making where things are going to start really taking off for you. So congratulations. with
Thank
everything.
you.
Yeah, you have a
Thank you
really
so
good future
much.
ahead of yourself. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Did you walk in swim week in Miami or were you in LA?
I did both.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Who'd you walk for?
I walked for, it was through Art Hearts Fashion.
Okay.
In LA, I walked for 7 designers. And then in Miami, I walked for 3. Have you heard of Bikini Beach, Australia? Remnant Bikinis, Bellaria.
Bellaria.
My goodness, there were a lot. My Club was one. Mr. Triple X.
Okay.
Yeah, there was quite a few.
Yeah, usually you go and you have like 3 on board and then you'll pick up a few more. there.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what are you doing over there?
I am checking
Our question
out.
of the day?
Yeah, just make sure I don't like overlap questions. So, all right, guys, we're getting to our question today. Phoebe, you're the first one that has to answer this one. So this is a good one here. It's kind of strange, but I'll have to do this one. Longtime listener and fan of the show. You guys always seem to come up with the great answers to the questions part of the show. So here's a good one for you. I've been seeing a married guy for like 4 months now, and he's told me he's not leaving his wife. He's got a 3-year-old kid, and guess what? I'm the nanny. Yes, I know, cliche and all, but I really do like the situation. I'm not looking for anything out of it except sex and an occasional night out. Before you burn me at the stake, if this stays under the radar and we both have no issues with this, in your opinion, how long do you think I can ride this wave? Woo! All right.
I'm the one answering this.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't even look up.
Yeah, you're just like doodling. Honestly, I mean, depending how your morals are, you can write it out as long as you suppress that shit. But
Right.
eventually, I think karma will catch up to you. And like when you're dealing with a married man who also has kids and you're involved in both of their lives, the kids are going to find out and tell on you in one way or another, depending
Right.
on how old the kids are. But like, it's going to come out. It's just the way the world works. It's bad karma.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's
see what your take is on
normally
this,
I'm
sir.
like a fan of everyone's question, but I cannot condone this one. I'm sorry. It's a
No.
tough one, girl. It's like you're the nanny for the 3-year-old and you're hanging out with the husband. Like Phoebe said, it's gonna catch with you because the kid's gonna blurt something out one day. Mommy, I saw Daddy kissing Santa Claus, whatever the fuck it is. It's like
Right.
something's gonna come out. And like I said, if whatever your morals take you through this, let them just continue to take you through it. But I don't know what to say on this one, really.
That's like a stab to the gut,
Yeah.
really. Like, kind of, where's your integrity?
Right. Bad form on the
Yeah.
guy too for even like, but I mean, once again, he's a guy. So I mean, I'm like,
Yeah.
I would ride that wave myself, honestly.
Would
if
you
I-
tell if you knew?
Me?
Yeah.
Wait, knew if I was a friend
Like
of
if
his?
it
or-
was like a neighbor and you knew what was going on, would you tell?
Not
the
as a
wife?
neighbor. I don't know them well enough to even get in the business. So, but unless I,
I mean,
was
if they're
like,
like friends, you hang out with them. Like,
yes.
You would tell.
Yeah, I don't know. I say, excuse me, I don't know. This is a tough one.
oh.
It's
You
such
know?
a sensitive topic
very
because there's
sensitive
kids
topic,
involved
yeah.
too. I mean, she's
4 months has been going on.
she's I mean, I hate this word, but that's homewrecker activity
Yeah.
right there.
Right.
It's
Right.
literally wrecking.
And I'm
a
assuming
Well,
family.
she said it's just for sex. So
Right.
it's, maybe she's not looking to like steal the man, but I mean, I'm not condoning anything. I actually left a note on my neighbor's car because there was like a similar situation going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like if I was that woman, like I would want to know. And I felt like there were a lot of people that knew, and I felt really
Mm-hmm.
bad for her. So I left a note on her car
Wow. Okay.
Good for you.
when she
honestly.
was at work.
Yeah.
Was it anonymous,
It was an anonymous.
like Jersey Shore style?
Yeah, well, I don't, I didn't watch that, but yeah, I left a note. But to this day, they were a neighbor and they're still together,
Wow.
like with the kids. So it's like kind of one of those things where you just never know how it's gonna go. And I feel like if I would have went to her, like I would have been the bad guy.
That's true.
But
Yeah.
then again, I just always think like in an empathetic way, like, would I want to know? And I knew that I wanted to know. So it wasn't a secret that I wanted to continue to keep. So it was more for myself, like,
To release that
Yes.
energy.
yes,
And, yeah.
like letting it go. Like I kind of did my part and you do with it what you want.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, it's a tough one, and and I don't really want to say this, but I'm going to say this. I feel like she's young, anyways, for this to happen because it's eventually, like I said, those feelings are probably going to change to something else down the road, probably if this continues as
Yeah.
well. So just do you, girl, and just make the right decision. Just
Be
like, if-
careful. Clearly,
yeah.
he's a fertile man, so like
Oh,
protect yourself.
Good point. Yeah. So and just. I guess ride that wave. That's what you're gonna do, but it ain't coming.
She's
we don't
riding
condone
it.
it. No.
She
I think this is the
right
first
there.
question we ever got that was just kind of like, it sounds like such a made up story, but it's just like,
No,
shit.
this is like, this happens a lot.
Okay. All right.
Sad.
Well, thank you for answering that one, Phoebe. Thank you very much. All right, guys. We
Thank
are
you
gonna,
so much
yeah.
for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
And where can we
Yeah,
plug?
how
Like, what do
fun.
you like? Tell us where we can find you.
Yeah, so on Instagram and on TikTok, I am at Flexing Phoebes. Do you want me to spell it, or is it going to be across the screen?
It's across the
right
screen
there.
now.
Okay. Oh yeah, baby, there it is.
Yeah, there you are.
Flexing Phoebes, and then I also have a website and a blog. It's www.flexingphoebes.com. And watch Cosmic Love on Prime Video and watch me get pissed off at a lot of boys.
Yeah, you gotta watch the show, guys. I
Friend
mean,
zone
whether
them
it's like
and-
whether just you gotta just make your own opinion.
Are
on
they
that.
doing another season?
I honestly have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
We didn't even get like a reunion, so
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Right. All right. And what do you have to plug today, Jamie?
Shout out to Imperium Roots. They make the best CBD, and Howitzer for always taking care of us.
Nice. All right, guys. And you can find us at Dating Intelligence on social media. And my personal is at Fetch Sport. And once again, another great show. Phoebe, thanks so much for joining the show.
Thank you,
All right, guys. We
guys.
are out. Thanks, Travis.